I am back, guys, from being offline for 2 weeks. Had schoolwork, and I've been out of town between those 2 weeks. So, I've been busy. So, today we're going to start a new series. What is series? Specifically, what is a hard drive? Let's get right into it. So, what is a hard drive? Okay. First thing we're going to talk about what is a hard drive is that it stores all your computer's information on here, such as all things like that's already downloaded. Examples, your movies go on here, your music go on here, and also your programs that you install and your operating system goes on here. Okay? Your operating system, like Windows, is downloaded into this thing. Okay? When you turn on your computer, it will read off of this and then display it on your monitor or your screen on your laptop, whatever it is. Okay? So yeah, so it's a storage device. Okay? Now let's talk about the internal parts and how this sucker actually works. Okay? First off, there is a platter. Okay? It's like a CD looking thing. Okay? And it spins really, really fast up to 7,200 RPMs as an example. It's not the fastest, but that's very moderate hard drive you see these days. Okay, and then another thing is that there's an arm, an actuator arm, and that thing moves back and forth between these platters. And there's not just one platter. There are multiple layers of platters. Okay, there are various layers, and then there's going to be various actuator arms that are on top of it. Those actuator arms have a head, okay, a little tiny head. You're gonna see it, but very thin, very small. And that head is very, very close to the platter. And that platter actually spins on a spindle, okay? It spins on the spindle as you see in the picture. That head does not touch it at all, but it's very close. I'll put the number on how close it is on the screen somewhere up on the screen. Anyway, so yeah. And then there is the actuator, which is the magnet. A very, very strong magnet. If you were to take this apart, you'll see the magnet and you can take it out. I have some other magnets. I don't have it with me now, but there are some magnets I have. And that's what is cool, that this thing is magnetically written. So everything you download is done by a magnet. That's why they say don't leave magnets next to your computer, because common computers have hard drives. And they say don't put a magnet because then all that information that's stored will destroy everything on there. It'll be like erased. And it will corrupt your whole hard drive. It may not even boot. Okay? So that is the true thing. Do not leave magnets next to your computer. Okay? Okay, another thing is that we're gonna talk about, since you know the internals, there's also a logic board, or the board where all the processing going, Okay, now we're going to go on to connections, and we're going to go back to Molex, okay? As you see in the picture, it's 4-pin power connector, it's power. Then there's IDE. That's mostly common when you see a Molex is with an IDE. An IDE is very, very old. You may have seen them in older computers, maybe. And they're very wide, as you see. So they said, okay, let's save space. Let's make a SATA cable. As you see, it's very thin. The cable has a little notch on the end, going down or up, whatever the picture shows. And that's how you know if it's like a SATA type of connection. That's how I know, right? Then there's usually power SATA, okay? Power SATA looks exactly the same, basically, just wider. Okay, it's just wider, and that just gives power, because the SATA and the IDE cable both transfer all the information, but the Molex and the power SATA both give power to actually turn the thing on. So that is what a hard drive is. It stores information. Now I'm going to give you examples on how you would see this in the real world. So an example is, like I was saying, downloading movies. Also downloading songs, installing programs will all be installed onto this. So I think that's about it on hard drives. Oh, one more thing, okay? The It comes in various storage capacities. To quarter of a gigabyte, which is 256 megabytes, to 8 terabytes if you want. The most common I see is like 500 or like half a terabyte to a terabyte of storage, which is most common, which I recommend personally because they're getting so cheap now. A terabyte for storage is getting so cheap. It's like you almost need one. Okay, so I would recommend a 1 terabyte storage if you're like a beginner. Let's say if you do a lot of rendering and stuff, I would say to use a hard drive to save all your videos, but use a SSD for your rendering. Yep, that's another whole video on that whole subject with SSDs, and I'll explain that whole subject later. But yeah, so for storage, if you want a lot of storage and you have a budget, hard drive's gonna be the best way to go because you can get a terabyte, which is huge. Personally, to me, for like $40, and I've seen it for that cheap. So yeah. Well, that wraps it up for this video, guys. Please hit that subscribe button down below. It really, really does help me. Also, like this video if you liked it. Disliked it if you disliked it. If you're in the middle, comment down below. Also, follow me on my new social networks. You know, Instagram, Twitter, and Google+. I do have some accounts for DeansTechTalk on there, so go check me out. If you want to ask me some questions, you'll catch me faster on Instagram than you will on Google+ or Twitter. So make sure you go check out the Instagram. Yeah. Also, for some of the great tech reviews, go check out Jay's 2 Cents, Linus Tech Tips, and also Paul's Hardware. And also for some great cell phone reviews, go check out SuperSaf TV. He is really, really great on their cell phone reviews. If you're on a desktop or a laptop, I will put boxes around them. But if you're on a mobile device, there'll be links down in the description to get those channels. And don't forget to subscribe to the channels because they are great and they have a lot of humor to them on some of the channels. So yeah, they're really fun to look at. Well, I'll see you guys next time on another episode. I will have another video hopefully this week. And 2 next week. So, see you guys later.